Good morning, everyone. How are you? I was lucky and fortunate enough to spend a little time in the breakfast area and try to introduce myself to some of you. If I didn't make it to your table, good morning. I still like the hat. Still like the hat. Still like the hat. One of the things that we're going to try to do here is, one of the things I really think and really believe is we do not often have enough opportunities to talk and share from each other. We get caught up in the job, we get so busy. I always use the term, sometimes we become the hamster on the wheel. And so one of the things that I'm going to try to have us do for the next hour or so is, we have some things that we're going to go through and we're going to talk about and we're going to follow. And one of the things, though, that I want to make sure that we do is we talk and learn and interact with each other. There is more knowledge, there is more expertise, there is more background sitting in this room than you will ever find in your industry. And so for the next 3 days, whether it's in a workshop, whether it's at the trade show, whether it's standing with a cocktail or a beer in your hand, try to just make sure that we try to learn and talk from each other. So here's what I'd like you to do. All right, I'm not going to embarrass anybody, not going to have any role-playing, not going to have any quizzes, not going to have anything like that. But one of the things I'd like you to do is to get us started is please stand up. Do me a favor, stand up. Don't worry, we're not going to do anything weird. All I'd like you to do is kind of turn and at least introduce yourself to 3 people that you don't normally see or talk to. Find 3 people that you don't normally see or talk to. All right. Now, isn't that better? That's a little better. Anybody want to guess why I start out like that? Start out like that all the time. Anybody want to guess why? Wake us up. Honest to God, wake us up. That's not really it. You were all awake. Well, I don't know. Some of you might have been out a little late last night. I'm not quite sure. But we were all awake. It's just to change the energy in the room. That's all we're trying to do, is just change the energy in the room by doing that. So what I want you to think about for the next 3 days is, how can I and how can we change the energy in our interactions with our customers, in our actions with our client base, in our actions with the people inside the organization that can help us. All right? So that's what we're going to try to do, is just try to change the energy around main points that we're going to think about and talk about. So you have a handout with you. I'd like you to, if you don't mind, pull that out. And the reason for that is we are wanting and hoping that you're going to take a few notes. There's going to be times when I'm going to ask you to talk to the people around you. You're just going to talk to 3 or 4 people around you in your area. And I'm going to ask you to just jot down some notes, because one of the most important things, you've been to many of these things. Isn't this the 14th year? 14th, 15th year you've done this? Something in that area? Yes? 12th? 12? All right. So what happens is you get great ideas. You come to these things, you get great ideas, you have great thoughts, you have great feelings, and then we go back, and then you've been away from your office, you've been away from your desk, you've been away from your computer really for 3 days, and then you just get overwhelmed. And a lot of the great ideas and thoughts that start out when you're here in these couple days in this meeting, they often stay here. So what we're trying to do is have you take these with you and refer back to them and apply them once we leave after today. So, has everybody had an interesting year for the last 24 months? Yeah. Yeah. Now here's the interesting thing. Many of you in this room have done extremely well. Many of you in this room have done better than you even thought during this 24-month period. Would everybody agree? Yes or no? Quite a few of us have found opportunities in a difficult and challenging market that have even surprised us. So as leaders in our marketplace, creating opportunities in a challenging market requires us to adapt to multiple issues. To effectively address these issues, we must collectively first address mindsets. So here's what we're going to do. Setting the tone, step 1. Out of all the things that we can ever start with, out of all the things that we can ever go through, no matter who I talk to, no matter who I've been fortunate enough to work with for the last 17 years doing this, we always start with this one phrase, setting the tone, step 1. Mindset, attitude, philosophy, way of doing business. Mindset, attitude, philosophy, way of doing business. This is kind of the beginning point. So here's what I'd like you to do. Just as you're comfortable, either turn and talk to the 2 or 3 people around you, or just turn your backs and share a little bit with the person behind you. But just do me a favor and go through this process and ask yourself, mindset, attitude, philosophy, way of doing business. Why is it there? Why is it important? How does it affect our relationship with clients? How does it affect our relationship with ourselves and the people that work inside the company? So out of all the things that we could start with, just take a couple minutes with the people around you and go through. No right or wrong answer. Mindset, attitude, philosophy, way of doing business. Why is it there? How does it affect us? How does it affect our relationship with clients? So go ahead, talk to 2 or 3 or 4 people around you, jot down a couple notes, and then we'll come back to each other in just another couple minutes. All right. Mindset, attitude, philosophy, way of doing business. I got to tell you, as I walk through the room, I'm impressed. The majority of people were actually talking about mindset, attitude, philosophy, way of doing business. You can laugh, that's fine. And I actually saw people taking some notes. Now, we're all salespeople, directly or indirectly. Everybody in this room is salespeople, so here's what I don't want. You're all talking, making a lot of noise, interacting quite a bit, and now I'm going to ask, what'd you talk about? And here's what happens a lot. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. No right or wrong answer. Anybody else? Jump out. What'd you talk about? Mindset, attitude, philosophy, way of doing business. Positive attitude. What's that mean? David said positive attitude.
Just keep it open and looking forward.
Keep it open, looking forward. Very good. Who was that? Glass half full. Very good. Keep coming. Mindset, attitude, philosophy, way of doing business. What was that? Who said that? It's a way of life. I totally agree. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, if you're positive and move forward every day of your life, you attract people. They want to do business with you.
Did everybody hear that? It's a way of life. If you're positive and constantly are trying to positively move forward, you attract people, and people want to do business with you. Would everybody agree or disagree with that? I'm going to ask you again. Everybody agree or disagree with that? Thank you. Is that always easy to do? Absolutely not. I am not going to stand in front of you and try to be that pain-in-the-neck motivational speaker that says, oh, all we got to do is have a positive mental attitude and everything will be good. Know what? Sometimes, no, not everything's good. Sometimes you get kicked in the head. Sometimes somebody says no to you so many times and you think you've got the greatest idea and the greatest proposal, and we just are not getting through to them. It is not easy to do. I've been lucky and fortunate in my life. I spent 17 years. I had a real job. For those of you who are kind of curious, how did he end up here? I did have real jobs for about 16 years in the corporate world, and I've been lucky and fortunate. I do this for a living for the last 17 years. And what I've tried to find throughout the time frame is what is it? What is it that people here do that other people don't do? Anybody else? Couple more. When you enjoy what you're doing, our clients can sense that. Absolutely right. I'm going to come back to that. There was one over here, sir? I said when you're going through hell, people don't go. Oh, what's your name? Ken. Can I repeat that in the back of the room? Can I repeat that? Ken says when you're going through hell, you got to keep on going, right? It's not always easy to do, folks. In fact, it's sometimes just downright hard. But who has an influence over whether we keep going or whether we don't? Nobody except ourselves. We know that. Now, I want to remember the apply, plug in. I want you to make sure that we know, though, this year, in the coming 12 months, that we use the resources that are available to us in this organization. Do we have an organization that is at least helping to support us in everything that we do? Yes or no? Very helpful. Very helpful. Now, I know that when you're out in the field, that you're face-to-face with somebody, and you're looking somebody right in the eye, and they're looking at you, and they're going, I don't think so. Don't think that's going to happen. You're not going to get a whole lot of help in that time frame. But we need to plug in and apply all the resources that we have available to us. And many times, that's the people sitting next to us and around us. How many of you use the buddy system where you have somebody that you can call and talk to other than, let's be honest, does your spouse or significant other want to hear how things are going at work? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And do they really want to hear about it every night when you come home when things are not going good? Absolutely not. So you've got to have somebody that knows your business, understands your business, that you can call, that you can have lunch with, that you can have a conversation with, that you can have an educated business discussion with around things. And you know what? Sometimes you just need to vent. Sometimes you just need to vent. You don't always want to vent to the corporate office, right? No, don't always want to do that. I would not recommend that.